And today we're going to examine the career position of the Customer Care and Reservation Sales Specialist, particularly for Marriott International. And we're very fortunate to have with us Mr. Max Burston, who holds that position. Thank you for being with us, Max.
Thank you, Tim. Thank you very much.
First of all, let's find out about you. Now, I understand in high school you studied German, you were on the tennis team, a lot of different interests, but when you went to Ohio State, what did you study there?
At Ohio State, I continued getting more immersed in German, studying it more in depth, the literature and the grammar, and it really paid off. And that gave me more of a penchant to try to study overseas in Germany itself on that in college.
Was your major German, or was it?
I minored in German, and I always had a strong liking for the language and for foreign languages in general.
But I thought you studied political science, did you not?
Yes, I majored in political science. That was my prime major.
That was your primary major.
Correct.
Very interesting. But you had the bug for languages. You enjoyed languages. In fact, I think your parents spoke German at home, did they not?
Yes, I came from, they were native speakers of German, so it was quite innate. It really boosted me, it gave me a definite advantage. I didn't come into studying the language in school in any cold manner, or so I did have that advantage right off the bat.
Oh, very good. You also studied French, I believe, at Ohio State. Is that correct?
Yeah, then once I was studying in Germany and Europe, French got to be, it was a language that was more of an international language, and people were saying, you know, French would be of great assistance as far as foreign languages more internationally. So that gave me more of a curiosity to study French. So I studied French. I started taking some courses at Ohio State, also there in my junior year. Okay.
Well, let's go from there. So you're majoring in political science, your first love, but you're continuing with language in terms of German, which your family spoke. And then you picked up an interest in French because of the fact that French could be valuable, as people have told you, in the international arena. Now, you studied overseas, did you not? Where did you study first?
For my fourth year, my senior year, I decided to study in Germany to get credit toward my bachelor's degree there in Germany my senior year.
And what city?
I studied at the University of Bonn for the first semester there of my senior year. Then I studied the spring semester in Munich, at the University of Munich.
And when you studied at the University of Munich, you actually lived and resided with your grandmother, is that correct? You lived there?
Yeah, that is correct.
And she did not speak a word of English, right?
That is not a word of English. That's,
so it was really immersion. It was a chance to really either sink or swim with the language.
That's true, but as I said, I had a definite advantage. I had no trepidations or fear of that because my language ability was strong enough from being at home with my parents that didn't really pose much of a problem at all.
Okay. Now, what about French? Where did you study that?
French, I initially studied, I did take French in my, I believe it was my junior year at Ohio State. And after my senior year of studying in Germany, I decided to get a combination of German and French going at the University of Freiburg in Switzerland, where I decided to study journalism, try to maybe get a master's in journalism there.
But all your courses were in German and French?
The courses were predominantly in German, but I also continued, took another language course in French at the University of Freiburg to hone my skills in French more there at that college, at that university.
And you eventually earned your bachelor's degree from Ohio State University, right?
That's correct. Yeah, that's where I got the full credit from Ohio State.
Okay, now let's jump to Marriott. We do have a Marriott International Reservation Center here. It's also called the Marriott Global Reservation Center in Cleveland, Ohio. Actually, it's in Solon, Ohio, and that's where Max works. And what you do is take calls from all around the world people making reservations or seeking information about Marriott properties. First of all, what properties belong to Marriott? People only think of Marriott and Marriott Resorts and Hotels, but they actually own many different brands. What are the other brands?
Well, the higher brand, which was what is considered a higher line of hotels than the Marriott brand itself, is they did take control of the Renaissance line back in like '95, and there's also the Courtyards built for the business traveler in mind, the accent for business travelers for the Courtyard. There are Spring Hill Suites, Fairfield Inns, Residence Inns, Town Place Suites, all these various different accented hotels. Line of hotels.
And actually, I believe they have the New Otani also, which is the Japanese line. They're connected with the New Otani. And I believe there was also another one in Europe that was very famous. What was that?
The Bulgari is
Bulgari,
a very high-end.
It's even above the Ritz
It's in
almost.
Europe also.
Right.
I think there are a few in Europe and the Far East, and it's a very high-end hotel, very exquisite hotel.
Okay, very nice. So what you do basically is take reservations from people over the phone, or you answer their questions about amenities of various properties or pricing, etc. Is that correct?
That is correct. That is correct.
And you've been very successful at it, have you not? Because, as I should say, Max has often sold more than $1 million worth of sales for room reservations and sales for Marriott, and therefore belongs to the $1 Million Club. Or tell us about that.
Yeah, I believe about 2 years ago, I did. I think I exceeded over $2 million in sales. I received a plaque or a certification for exceeding $2 million in volume of sales for Marriott at our banquet dinner.
Yeah.
So, and I don't believe anybody else exceeded that total of $2 million.
Yeah, exactly. What happens here is Marriott has an incentive program. Many people call to make reservations, and they make a reservation, and Max gets credit for that. But the people that are shopping around, just asking questions, Max has an incentive. If he can convince them to make a reservation now, maybe it's the last room that's available at a certain price or a AAA rate or whatever, he gets credit for those reservations as well. And after the guests actually stay, he earns a portion of that money's brought in. Is that correct? Is that how it works? It's an incentive program to get you to convince people to commit right now to a reservation.
Oh, sure, yeah, it's based, yeah, there's a commission, and the more we sell, the more rooms we book. Of course, we get a commission, and we're competing against the other agents for a piece of the pie on that.
Yeah, and that's very important because you actually can do the job of 3 people. You can make reservations in English, French, and German. And therefore, instead of passing off a call to the international line, like many people have to do and lose an opportunity to make a sale, make a reservation, you, because of your language skills, have a greater opportunity to talk to other people from around the world and convince them, perhaps, that this is the best time to make a reservation. So you have really a wonderful competitive advantage in terms of the language skills. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's true. Every once in a while we get calls from Europe, and you know, I have received calls from German-speaking persons, and it's really aided as far as booking the rooms. They feel a lot more comfortable when they hear someone speaking German. It really fosters the process.
Relationship building. And you speak French very well also. I should say that I was Max's training manager or training specialist, I was called, at Marriott. And therefore I trained him, and I'm very proud of the success that he's had. And it was wonderful working for Marriott. It's a wonderful organization. And they do and they can value language skills because, again, you're 1, 2, 3 employees for the price of 1. You're a great value. Now, Max, about your work, what do you like about your work?
The prime I do like to hustle and really try to make those sales. Each and every person who calls in, I like to try to consummate the sale for every potential guest that calls in.
So you enjoy the challenge?
I love the challenge. I love selling, and it's that's the prime thing I do like about it.
Right, and you get to talk to people from all over the world. That's fun, even if they don't speak English and they don't speak your native language. They may speak French as an interlanguage, and you can talk to someone, perhaps an Asian person, in French, and still make a reservation.
Yeah, that's true.
So that's a great advantage. Because Max has been such an excellent employee, he's been awarded the opportunity to work from home, which means you can actually, you don't have to go to the office, you don't have to go to the call center, you can actually work in your pajamas if you want to. Is that correct?
Yeah, they've established a home agent program where we can do this now at home, and it's very comfortable working at home. And other than that, we're still expected to, meet all the goals, like just as we were working in the call centers.
Yeah, but still, they only let their best people do that. Not
That
anybody.
is yeah, that's correct. That's correct. You do have to
Discipline
attain a
yourself,
certain
right.
parameters to be able to be a home agent. That is correct.
That's right. And being at home can be tricky because it's very tempting to divert yourself to something else or put a TV on and get distracted. So it really takes a lot of self-discipline, really, to work from home. Is that true?
That's true. You definitely have to concentrate. You can't have like outside factors disturbing you, just like it
Or
could
distracting
be.
you. Right.
Yeah.
Very good. Now, what do you dislike about your work?
I can't say I dislike really anything about it. We do get calls where some of the guests were somewhat upset about a past stay or some incident, or they're not totally satisfied.
So you have angry customers?
Yeah, we do get customers are not satisfied. There was some kind of problem, but really that really is no water off my back, because we do have a mechanism to deal with that. We do have the guest relations department. So if there's, we try to mollify ourselves as home agents to try to alleviate the problem by speaking to them. And but if it comes down to, we would send them over to guest relations.
But you do have to take the heat in the beginning, and what you do is let them vent until they calm down, and then you can deal with them rationally. Is that correct?
That's
That's
true.
how it works?
That's true. Yeah, we sometimes if you try to reason it out with them and you try to empathize with them and whatever their problem happened to be, and it does de-escalate if
Excellent. Excellent. Empathy is the key. Now, it just occurred to me, sometimes you may get a call from a famous person. Does that ever happen for you?
Yes, I've received some like football coaches, like college football coaches, something like that, or maybe some of these VIP, their secretaries, whatever, and they're calling in for bookings for these well-known national personalities.
Yeah, I remember when I was there, I made a reservation for Andy Roddick on the phone, tennis player, and I did not take the call, but another person took the call for Ludacris. And he was on the phone, made the call, and another rapper called. This was really interesting. Another rapper called. The agent developed a nice relationship with that person on the phone, and he invited them to join, invited that person and her sons and daughters to join him on stage during his concert here in Cleveland. And that was an interesting thing to happen as well.
Yeah,
So there are some fun things that can happen in the hotel industry. It can be. Oh, and also we should mention also you probably get wonderful travel benefits. Do you not? Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, of course, naturally, as an employee, we do get very good discounts as far as
Very deep discounted rooms.
We have very deep discounts if we wish to stay at Marriott hotels around the world.
Or
So-
these other properties we had mentioned as well, the other brands.
Yeah, all the
Renaissance,
Marriott
right.
brands, all the different lines of Marriotts. So we do definitely get those discounts.
And you can also extend those to your friends and family, so they can get discounts as well. So I imagine you're a very popular person with your friends.
That's correct. I get in fact, just here this past week, in the last few weeks, I've done a lot of separate bookings for friends who've called in who need rooms in other cities.
And you can save them a lot of money. I remember myself, I made a reservation for my friend down at Disney World, and he stayed at the Residence Inn, where they provide a breakfast, a full breakfast, and they provide a happy hour, sort of things to eat around 5 or 6 o'clock. And he would have paid maybe $150 a night, and he only paid $75 a night for the whole week. So he saved substantially, and he was very grateful. And so there are those opportunities to take in, plus travel around the world. I know you've taken your tennis racket with you around the world when you've gone back to France or when you've gone to other locations and had a good time meeting people that way. Is that correct?
Oh, sure, yeah, it's
Right. Now, we're probably talking to many young people out there, and perhaps we've interested them in becoming a customer care and reservation sales specialist for either Marriott or some other competitor, perhaps, of Marriott. What advice would you give them at this time?
for younger persons in their teens, whatever, who want to go into customer service, sure, I think that they would try to develop their verbal skills as much as possible, whether they're doing it on the phone or not on the phone. And also, as far as if they want to delve into like customer service that deals with more in the international sphere, then it would be best to learn, at least maybe one or two other foreign languages as well as they can, and that would really get them into that niche of dealing with customer service on an international level.
One thing I did learn from working in the hotel industry is that you can rise up the ranks very, very quickly. There are doormen that are now general managers, and it's not because of fancy college degrees. It's because they've had the right attitude, the work ethic, they're friendly with people, they know how to handle people, and that could carry you a long way. But of course now there are programs where you can take hotel management study courses as such. But still, that is one thing that amazed me, the opportunities for growth, because as hotels continue to build and build, they'll move you from one hotel to the other. Next thing you could be managing something in France without even knowing what happened. So
that's definitely true. Yeah, you can if you're ambitious enough, you can try to elevate yourself to higher positions. There's no doubt about it.
Yes, indeed. And many companies, of course, will pay for education as well. They'll be willing to invest in you. So they may pay for a degree in hotel management or lodging industry. It can be very helpful also. Max Burson, we want to thank you for being with us and giving us all this valuable information. Thank you for being with us.
And thank you very much, Tim. It was a pleasure being here.
It's good to see you again. We had good times at Marriott. I remember those days very, very well. And I would suspect you also have a problem with irate customers, right? Angry customers.
Yeah, every once in a while, but that can be allayed pretty well. We do have the customers, the guest relations line or customer service line, and you can
still have to take the heat first, right?
Yeah, we take the heat first, but I'm pretty inured to it. You just take the wind out of their sails. They can't bite you through the telephone.
You let them vent. That's right. You let them vent.
Yeah, that's true.
And then you can talk to them calmly. Do you have any advice for anyone that might wish to pursue the position of a customer care and reservation sales specialist at a call center for any lodging industry company? Would you have any?
To really try to learn another language, now more days than ever, with the cross-culturalization of meeting all of different people from different lands, it's great to know, if not, if another language or maybe even two or three outside of your own native language. That's, I think that's the, it's a great. You feel like you have another persona, another person, if you know another language. You're not just a single solitary person in your native lange.
Exactly.
That's my. I think that was the.
So
that is my biggest advice.
To invest in a language.
Yeah.
All right.
You should never stop learning another language. That's
true. Well, thank you very much for your time, Max. We appreciate you coming.